Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about different techniques that you can use to help you cut down your editing time. I know a lot of people really struggle with editing, especially if they're creating long form content here on YouTube, but overall just really trying to figure out how to make editing easier so that it doesn't take you as long. Now, before we can get to this video, I do want to note that if you do not practice this skill, you will not get faster at it. So if you're just doing it every now and again and you're inconsistent, it's not gonna be something that you're actually gonna improve at because you just aren't getting enough reps in. So in this video, I am gonna be doing my makeup per usual. I need to start with skincare though because I haven't done that yet. So let's just get into it. The first thing that you need to do to cut down your editing time is to know what you are going to say before you hit record. It is so simple, honestly. If you practice what you are going to say, if you have some version of a script, you don't have to obviously read off of a script, and when people do read off of scripts, it sounds unnatural. So I'm not saying that you should have a script, but I am saying that you should know the points that you want to get across when you are speaking in a speaking to camera video. As an example, before any of my YouTube videos, I know the points that I want to make in my video before I even start recording. I'm not just coming up with ideas as I am speaking. That would take years, honestly, for me to edit because it's just unorganized. So if you have an idea of what you want to say before you hit record, you will cut down your editing time substantially because you're not figuring it out on the go. You want to have your script or your ideas already hashed out, before you even start recording. And even if you are someone who doesn't edit your own content, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, but if you're someone that isn't editing your own content, it just takes so much longer for other people to edit your content if you are figuring out what you're trying to say during the video itself. So whether you're doing long form or short form, you can write out what you want to say, write out your hook, figure out what it is that you want to convey in the video before you even hit record so that you don't have to do that on camera. Because if you're figuring it out while you're recording, then you're just going to have to watch through it and cut it all out at the end. It doesn't sound like watching through it would take that long, but if you do that for multiple videos, multiple days a week, it will take you a long ass time. So just cut it out by knowing what you're gonna say before you actually hit the record button. Now, if you are someone that is recording like vlogs or B-roll in your content, and I talk about the difference between A-roll and B-roll and different editing cuts and editing styles. Like I teach all of that in my course that is linked in the description box. If you want to learn how to do the ins and outs and different types of cuts, you can definitely check that out. But essentially you want to make a list of all of the shots that you are going to get for your content. Now, what does that mean? You're making a shot list. That's what it means. So in your content, you should have an idea of how you want to tell whatever story that it is, because every piece of content is actually a story. So if you decide that you're going to create a vlog about your trip to Paris, right? You should have in your idea the types of shots that you want to have and the angles that you're going to get. And you may not necessarily have the order, you may not have everything totally written out, but you should have a general idea of what it is that you want to take before you even get there, before you're doing the thing. And this can apply to literally anything. It can apply to you doing, a stay-at-home vlog or a productivity vlog or any types of vlog, anywhere, any type of content where you would be using B-roll. And if you don't know what B-roll is, go look it up. Or you can learn about it in other types of shots in my creator course. Your shot list is going to guide your actions, because if you have very clear instructions for yourself of this is what I'm going to do when I go to set destination or to this place, then you can cut down your shooting time and your editing time by doing this. It requires you to have some forethought in the beginning, which a lot of people just think like, I'm gonna just do this on the fly. Like I see creators do this all the time. Yeah, they've been practicing this for years, okay? If you're brand new to this and you have no idea how to take B-roll or what types of angles you like, or even like your signature style, like every creator has their own style and how they record their content and also how they edit their content. If you don't know your own style, it is going to make it that much harder for you. Having a shot list in the beginning is very, very easy. And then as you develop the skill, as you practice it, as you do it over and over and over again, you can refine your skills to the point where you probably don't even need like a detailed shot list. You can probably just come up with it on the fly as a lot of creators will do. However, if you tend to take the same types of B-roll, your content will get very, very boring. So again, if you're someone who has no idea how to edit and you really want to refine your editing skills and learn different types of cuts, learn different edits and effects, you can get my creator course that's in the description box. Now, the next thing is actually going to be a combination of those two topics that I just spoke about, and that is taking shorter clips over longer clips. So what a lot of people will do is they'll just set up the camera and then they'll hit record and then they'll, do whatever it is, right, to get their B-roll. But the reason why that takes so long to edit is because you have 3, 4, 5 minutes of content, but you're only going to use about, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds of it. So you'll then have to go through all of that content. So again, 3 minutes of that content and try to cut it down so that it's only a few seconds of your B-roll. And this really takes a long time. It just does. If you're creating something like a long form vlog here on YouTube where your vlog is, let's say, 15 minutes, you have a lot of content to edit through. You have a lot of B-roll to edit through because you have such long clips when you're only doing different short actions within those clips, or you're only going to use short actions within those clips. So as you start to create more content and take more B-roll, focus on how you can make the actual clip size as short as possible so that you don't have to do as much back-end editing or post-processing editing on the back end, and you can save yourself a lot of editing time. The most elite, and I mean people who are really, really great editors, when they are recording content, they take very, very short clips of different things. They may get multiple angles of it, but they get very short clips because it is just so much easier for you to edit on the back end when you have 2 or 3 second clips versus having 2 or 3 minute clips. It makes a world of a difference, and a lot of people don't think about the shots that they want to be able to have those short clips. Because if you were taking short clips, but you don't know the exact type of shot that you want, or you don't know how you're going to edit it at the end, then it's just going to make it harder because you're going to be taking so many more short clips. Again, so many short clips that you're not going to use. So as an example, let's say I'm vlogging myself while cooking dinner. If I know I want to have different shots of me cutting up my vegetables, and I want to have shots of me putting the vegetables in a pot on the stove, and then I want to have other shots of me maybe going to the cabinets, I'm going to do all of that in like 30-second chunks so that when I do have to edit it, it is less time consuming because I don't have 4 minutes of content of me doing all that stuff at once. It also allows me to have a variety of angles, and because I know how I want to edit the shots after, like how I want to put them together and how I'm going to layer those different shots with different audios and also with different effects, it's so much easier for me to have those small, like 30-second clips, I'd probably take like 15-second clips, but it's easier for me to have those short clips as opposed to having 2 or 3 minute clips, because then I have to go through all of the content. I have to cut it at the certain points that I want it to be to have certain cuts in my edits. And then I have to put it all together with everything else that I've already edited. So these are some of the things that I will use I stopped doing makeup entirely because I just got caught up in editing. But these are the different techniques that I use that have made editing so much shorter for me, and also have made it just more visually interesting for my audience to watch. If you know the types of cuts that you're going to do when you edit, then again, it makes it easier for you to create a shot list because you know, okay, I want clip to be like this, and then I want this, cabinet image to be like that. So it's really, really simple when you break it down into little parts as opposed to just recording 10 minutes of your life in the kitchen and then you have to go back and edit it afterwards. These are things that you will pay essentially an editor to do, is that they're going to go through all of that content. However, some editors will charge you based on the hour that you're paying them or the length of content that they're editing. So if they're editing a 30-minute video for you for your YouTube vlog, they're going to charge you for that, sweetie. Like, you're not going to get away like, oh, it's just one video. No, babes, it's one video, but it's 30 minutes and it takes people hours to edit that content, especially if you have 3 minutes of you just walking around your kitchen, and then you have another 4 minutes of you getting in the car, and then you have another 20 minutes of you playing tennis. Like, that takes a lot of time to break down. So if you have those small clips, it's a lot faster for editing. Now, in terms of speaking, so I did start this video by talking about speaking to camera. When you are speaking to camera, you need to learn how to say less filler words. So this is a speaking technique that you can really learn on YouTube. So there's a lot of different speech techniques that you can learn that I have practiced many a times when I was refining my content. And one of the things that I started to do, like one of the practice techniques that I did, was talking for 1 minute straight without saying any filler words. So you probably know your own filler words, but you don't really pay attention to them all that often. Common ones would be filler words like, like, or yeah, or sometimes I will say right, like that's one of my filler words too. So when you do this exercise, and you can be speaking about any topic, essentially you're gonna get yourself and another person, or you can do like a random word generator, and you will speak with that person for 1 minute where you cannot say any ums or any filler words. And what this exercise does for you is it makes your brain slow down and focus on not saying any filler words, but also focus on saying sentences that actually make sense. When you're doing this exercise, you don't have to say things that are necessarily accurate or correct, because again, it's just an exercise. It's not something that people are going to see. It's just you practicing probably in the shower or, in your car or wherever. But when you're doing this, you want to continuously be talking for that full minute about that one specific topic and not say any filler words. It is very difficult to do at first, but it is a really, really great exercise for you to learn how to speak publicly and also how to enunciate your words, because a lot of people do not know enunciation. A lot of people also do not know how to speak different punctuation. So how to speak when there's a comma, or how to change your tone of voice when there's a period or a question mark or even an exclamation point. Those are things you have to learn when you're learning how to speak, and especially when you are speaking on camera, because even though you have control over your camera, you can stop, you can go, you can cut things out, you can do whatever it is, your audience will listen to you based on your speech. So if you are someone who sounds like you have no idea what the hell you were talking about, they're not going to listen to you. They're just not. And this is just something that is inherently within human beings. Like, people don't know that they're necessarily doing that, but I'm sure you know someone in your everyday life that when they start to speak, you just tune out. Like, you don't know what it's about. You're like, oh, yeah, yeah, that's crazy, okay. Because whatever they're saying, it just sounds like BS. So you're like, whatever, I'm not listening to this. The same happens when you are speaking on camera. If you have a lot of awkward ums or pauses, or you just come across as if you have no idea whatever the hell it is that you were talking about, people are not going to watch you because you are uninteresting. All of this plays into your camera presence and how you show up online and how you show up on camera, which is a lot easier said than done. A lot of people, and this typically is like people of older generations, they are really comfortable with speaking in person, but they're really uncomfortable with speaking on camera. So if you are someone that struggles with speaking on camera, this is something that you have to practice. Again, you can practice on your own, you can practice with another person. It's really fun when you practice someone else because they will listen to what you're saying to see if it makes sense. When you're practicing on your own, you can just say, random stuff. It doesn't exactly have to be correct or factually correct, but when you're practicing with someone else, they can point out the different times that you're going to say your filler words. Again, your filler words are different for everyone, but typically ums, ahs, oohs, whatever. That's a really great exercise for you to learn how to speak on camera properly. But keep in mind, even if you do this, you will still have to practice speaking on camera. So when you're doing this exercise, you can do it really well, but it's practicing and speaking on camera and having a strong and confident camera presence is just something that comes with experience. But the more you do it, the less you have to edit, because if you're editing out all your ums, all your ahs, all your oohs, all your awkward pauses, all of the what people call millennial pauses, or all of the strange parts of you speaking, then it's going to take you time to edit that out. But again, if you know what you're talking about, if you're strong in what it is that you're speaking about, and if you just have a conviction with your speaking, like if you seem like you are someone that is confident, that knows, that topic in and out, then people are going to be more willing to listen to you, and it's also going to cut down on your editing time. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about with learning how to cut down your editing time is actually using an AI feature that a lot of people just don't know how to use, and it is such a game changer. I have used this with editing with my own YouTube videos on CapCut, and it's called transcript-based editing. It tends to have a similar title or a related title on other editing programs, so you can probably just find it on whatever editing software you're using. I use CapCut, and it's called a transcript-based editing. And essentially what it does is it analyzes the script of your video. So it analyzes all the words that you said throughout the entire video, and it removes all of your filler words for you. You just click a button. It also can remove all of the words that you're repeating. So if you're someone who may struggle with like a stutter, or if you just repeat words multiple times, like you say and then again or something, it'll remove all those words for you so you don't have to edit it out individually. What I like about this software or this AI feature is that it really does cut down your editing time. And even though it is really, really useful, sometimes it doesn't make sense of your words. So if you're someone, again, that needs to practice a little bit more of your speaking to camera and, presence on camera, it may not edit out some of the awkward parts for you. So it may edit out one of your ums or ahs, but then the two phrases that come together still, seem a little awkward or could be cleaned up a little bit. So essentially it's a way for you to do a first sweep through all of your content to see what of your awkward pauses or your filler words. And then as you're editing through that, and then make the audio make sense and make the rest of the video actually make sense with whatever it is that you're speaking about. So that is a nice feature, and it is a part of their free program. You don't have to have CapCut Pro, I believe, to use the AI transcript-based editing. Super, super helpful. I definitely love and recommend using it. So if you are using CapCut or another software, you should definitely look into it and see if your software has it. I'm sure they do because a lot of people are using AI these days. But thank you guys for tuning into this video. Let me know if you liked it by giving it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.